I happened to St. John's Abbey in a very almost classical kind of way. My story is not very unique or riveting. I grew up on a small dairy farm about 45 miles west of here. My dad had come to St. John's as a first-year prep student in 1937, thinking about priesthood. At the end of that year, he wasn't certain enough to come back. So when his dad said, well, why don't you, if you're not sure, we really need you back on the farm. He was the youngest son, and they had a big farming operation. So my dad, Paul, went back to the farm. So I knew about St. John's from the time I was 8 years old. I mean, kind of the way an 8-year-old boy knows that kind of stuff. I'd never been here, but I'd heard about it. So I did think about diocesan priesthood early on. And when it came time to come to St. John's, I asked my parents if I could come and do so thinking in that direction. But I don't want this to sound exotic, because it wasn't. I was thinking about this the same way that a 14-year-old thinks about anything else. And when I came to prep, it was terrifying, first of all, because I'd never been away from home before. And all these 350 new classmates from grades 12 to 9, 135 or 140 first-year students like myself in this big building. Oh my goodness. But very quickly discovered good friendships and a lot of activity, learning a lot of new things. Graduated from prep school. By the time I did finish with that, I thought about where I wanted to go to college. I fell in love with chemistry at the prep school, and I knew that that's what I wanted to major in as a student. So I applied to a number of different schools, including the university here, which happened to have a great chemistry department. So I came here to school. By that time, I was really no longer all that sure about a vocation of priesthood, but I knew a lot of monks. And I was really impressed, drawn, attracted to the way they were able to simply deal with complicated issues in a thoughtful way. Not afraid of them, able to take a look at them, whether they were hard moral questions or the relationship between scientific thinking and other forms of thinking and theological reflection and ethics, etc. Just let's talk about it. Let's look at it. So I really started to think seriously about monastic life. And I realized when I graduated in '71 that I couldn't leave this place without answering that question, that if I didn't answer the question about monastic life, I would ultimately always be looking over my shoulder. So I applied. The community, gratefully, they accepted me. I'm grateful to them for having accepted me. I did my year of novitiate, and it was clear to me that at the end of the year here, as a novice, as a beginner, that this was something I really had to look at very, very carefully. For one thing, all the things that I brought in as a kid from central Minnesota growing up on a small dairy farm, all of that was valued. It was relevant. It mattered. All of those skills. Not that we were milking cows here, but the sense of being willing to look under the hood, skills for organizing, for taking initiative, for fixing things, for doing all of that. So I petitioned for first vows and was accepted for them, and from there went on. So that's how I got here. Things keep changing, but that was really the impetus of it, and That's the way I make sense of it.